Well, Ant-Man has finally arrived. There was so much controversy around the production, from Edgar Wright leaving over creative differences and then Peyton Reed with his own vision and with casting, with all kinds of things that were swirling around. But, it was just leading up to Ant-Man being not only in question, but, is this really the next move that Marvel should make? Well, I'm happy to say, not only was it the right move to make, it was one of the best Marvel movies, one of the best superhero movies that I've ever seen. And mostly because it totally surprises you, because you think, all right, it's got powers of an ant, and it may look good in a comic book, but how are you going to transfer this to the big screen? But in the vein of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Inner Space from Steven Spielberg, and also The Incredible Shrinking Man, it all depends on the special effects. Him coming in and out of being an ant, size of an ant, to back and forth. How is these powers going to work? The movie executes it perfectly. It explains everything on a scientific level. It explains it on a comic book level. It explains it to where you're going to have a really, really good time. So Paul Rudd plays a thief, Scott Lang. He's a thief. He's a cat burglar. Well, not a cat burglar. He doesn't steal any cats, but he steals for a living. And the movie opens up with him in jail, coming out of trying to go straight because he's got a daughter. His wife is remarried, and to Bobby Cannavale, who is just awesome. I just think he's great. And so I'm sorry, I'm just really excited about this. I'm trying to set this movie up for you. I just saw it, so I'm just like, I'm coming out cheering for the movie. So he comes out trying to do the right thing. He's living with his little rogues gallery of criminals, trying to stay on the straight and narrow, and he's recruited by Michael Douglas, who plays Dr. Harry Pym, who's got this suit that looks like something right out of the 1940s, this leather kind of motorcycle suit that's got to be some sort of tribute to the Rocketeer. I mean, so the Ant-Man is recruited to go on this special mission for Michael Douglas's character, for Dr. Harry Pym. And what's really cool is we have to break into the Avenger. This is crazy. I don't want to give any spoilers. Okay, I might give away spoilers. I'm not used to doing this, to telling what I might say about what people might consider a spoiler. So I'm not going to give too much away here. But overall, this is a heist movie. So Marvel has created a heist film where the Ant-Man has to go inside and get some certain technology, and also has to help work with Michael Douglas, who's going to save the world. Something Ant-Man does really well is includes all the characters in the Marvel Universe. All the MCU is there. It brings in the Avengers. It brings in S.H.I.E.L.D. It mentions some surprises, from other movies. And that's what I really liked about it, because you have these references to, like, you're living in the same universe. You're living in the same world. And it just kind of brings everything together. I always wish, like, James Bond would do that other villains would recognize each other or something like that. But Marvel is doing it really well, especially with Ant-Man. There's references to other films and other characters. And it's totally tongue-in-cheek. The movie is just a comedy from beginning to end. I heard people afterward complain about they didn't like how funny it was, and there was too many jokes in that. But I think Paul Rudd is really good at that subtle humor, and Michael Douglas has that slow burn. When he gets really annoyed because he's all serious, and so I think that the comedy really works. Because you have to take yourself, with a little spoonful of sugar there if you're going to be an ant. So if you're going to be shrinking and you're an Ant-Man, you got to have a sense of humor. Another real cool aspect of Ant-Man is not only does he have this power to walk between molecules, as I describe it, he has the ability to shrink, but it's all done on a scientific level, but he also has a way to command ants, which sounds crazy, but they also explain how that happens in the movie too. So each ant has its own special set of skills. You have the fire ant, you have the bullet ant, it's a real deadly bite, the venomous bite. You've got the carpenter ants who can, do these amazing feats of strength, and they can build things with their bodies. So they have all these different ants that he calls upon, which kind of gets kind of creepy at times because, he's being surrounded by all these giant ants, but he has the ability to control them through a special technology that Dr. Harry Pym has come up with. Wouldn't be a Marvel film without a villain, and we have Darren Cross, who plays Michael Douglas's character's protege, Dr. Harry Pym. It's his protege that he's mad with power, and he's also trying to discover this technology that he can walk between molecules, that he can shrink down to. So it's a race between Michael Douglas and the character of Darren Cross, played by, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm going blank. Corey Stoll, that's right. Looks like a Lex Luthor type too. He's all bald and he's just really evil to the core. But he's like one of those corporate meanies, and he's one of those corporate villains. He's bent on taking over the world. But he's just got this whole three-piece suit going on, and he's all business. But then this is not some guy you want to deal with because he's pretty intimidating. So Ant-Man is going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy this summer. It's funny, it's exciting, it's going to mess with your senses because you keep going from this world into the world of molecules and microscopic sizes, and it just looks so real. You buy into it, and you want to, because you have some really exciting action sequences that's mixed with comedy. And some people thought it was overkill. I didn't. I thought it was really funny. And also, Ant-Man's going to be joining the Avengers, or he's going to be in some Marvel movie or TV show in the near future, because he's got a really cool set of skills that, I mean, you just think, well, what's an Ant-Man going to do? But you know what? This is just a taste of what's in store. So get out and see Ant-Man. What are you waiting for? All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Make sure you pick up my podcast at iTunes. And please, if you like what you see, subscribe. I'm Jeffrey G. Howard. I'll see you next time.